Let's do it now.
Turn up the volume nice and loud. Cause we are controlling transmission with dance beats and R&B. You're in the mix with Lil Drummer Girl. With your host, Dawn Marie. In the mix.
Hey there, welcome back to Little Drummer Girl. It's Dawn Marie here, and thank you for being here with us this evening. Tonight's guest is Jim Koeppel. Jim is a blues guitarist who's opened, recorded, and played with artists such as Watson, Taj Mahal, and more. He's performed solo with his acoustic trio, the Delta Coasters, his electric band, Dust Bride Blues, and with many others at the King Biscuit Blues Festival. Jim's music appears in award-winning documentaries, including the Emmy-nominated Carhead. Let's get Jim on the air. Hey, Jim, how's it going tonight?
Hey, it's going great. How you doing?
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I know you've got a ton of stuff going on that I want to cover with you tonight, so thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Are you ready to rock out?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. So my first question to you is, how long have you been in this business of music?
Well, in the actual business, I guess, or just playing, I've been playing guitar since I was, 12 years old. And do the math. So, of course, I didn't tell you my age, so you can't do the math unless I give you the upper number, which is 53. I'm not ashamed. I'm happy to be alive. And so I've been playing guitar for 41 years. And I've been in the business, mostly on, a little bit off, but mostly on, basically since I was 18, I guess, when I graduated high school. I started playing out a little bit, and not a whole lot, but I was writing songs and doing other things like that, and I've had various jobs in the music industry as well as performing and writing and playing guitar and singing, and all kinds of things, from working at record companies to being a music professor, to being a roadie, to some degree. I've had all kinds of jobs.
Great.
I've even been an oyster shucker and all kinds of things in my life.
I love it.
But that was a long time ago.
It's so important, I think, for people to realize, it's really a great learning experience to get involved in different aspects of the business, because as a musician or an artist or an entrepreneur, in the beginning, you're really running your own business by yourself, doing all the different parts. So it's great to learn if you can get that experience. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, you're definitely working for yourself, and you have to do everything, and that means not everything always gets done. So, because you don't always have help, and you have a lot of forces working against you in the music business. Any artist, I think, has a lot of forces working against them. So, it's very difficult. So, yeah, it helps to know how the business works, it doesn't necessarily help you make money, but it helps you know how you can make money, and I think that gives you an advantage if you get lucky enough, and are prepared enough for if you have a lucky break, then at least you can know how to possibly capitalize on it. I'm still hoping, but at least I know, I think I'll recognize it when I see it. So I'm working on it.
Absolutely. So tell me, how did you get hold of your first guitar? You said you were 12 years old. How did you get the first guitar?
Yeah, well, the first guitar that I played, the first guitar I played was my mom had a boyfriend who had a guitar, and he taught me a little riff, and actually it was a blues riff, and I really didn't know at the time. I just thought it was really cool, and I liked it, and I started playing his guitar, and it was actually his friend's guitar, but it was in our house, and it was a really nice guitar, actually. It was one of the nicest guitars I've ever played. It was a Martin, and it was a 12-string, but it only had 6 strings on it, so it had a big fat neck, and it was a really great sound, and it was big. It was really big, so it was probably too big for me, but I liked it anyway, and I learned a riff, and then I broke my leg. And after I broke my leg, it was winter time, and there were a lot of snowstorms, and I was kind of bored. There was nothing to do. We didn't have iPhones back then. It was a better time in America, and I learned how to play guitar. So my parents got me some lessons, and then my mom broke up with the boyfriend, and then she got another boyfriend who played guitar, and he gave me a guitar. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah. Anyway, no, I was just kidding. But my dad paid for my lessons, so I'll give you that. Yeah, he saw everybody contributed in their own way. Let me just put it that way.
That's awesome, because you had that support growing up, and everybody's backing you on that, which is really important. I think it's great when you have a family who can help push you and catapult you.
Well, they didn't really push me, but they did get me. My dad did get me the lessons. I didn't live with my dad, but he did get me the lessons, which was very nice. He knew it meant a lot to me. So, but they didn't push me to be a musician. They really pushed me out against being a musician, I would say. Yeah.
Well, everybody hears of the struggling, starving artists. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, also, I wasn't totally hell-bent on being a musician even when I was 18. It was more, I actually wanted to be a pilot. So, but I played guitar, and I was pretty good at it, and I loved it. But I was kind of like, I wasn't like I was ever going to stop, but I had other things I thought I might want to do more, but then I changed my mind pretty quickly. So
you said you wanted to be a pilot. Did you ever get a license?
No, I didn't actually. I had a kind of a accident, and I ended up having like a fractured skull, and so after that, I couldn't fly for a while. Anyway, we get into that some other time. But after that, and I'm kind of glad because it would have taken me on a different route, and I like what happened after. I'm not glad it happened to me, but it made me pause and think for a minute, and if anything. So, but in addition, I've had double vision ever since then. So you can't really, you actually can fly a plane with double vision. I hope that doesn't make you so nervous next time you get on a flight. But
just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I can tell you some other stuff that will make you nervous, but we next for another conversation too.
Pilot, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
So tell me, what actually transpired in your life that inspired you to become a musician?
Well, I discovered I was writing songs, really. I wasn't even thinking about it, to tell you the truth. I guess I went to college and I brought my guitar, and sometimes instead of going to class, I would write songs, and I did that in high school as well. I would sit in the back of my class and write lyrics with the melodies in my head, and I didn't even think about it. I just kind of did it. I loved music. I mean, ever since I was really little, I remember, for instance, we lived on an army base in Germany when I was a little kid, and it was 1966, I guess, and that White Album came out, or whatever year that was, and I remember it. I remember my dad getting the White Album, and he had like headphones and a really cool stereo, and like he played it for me, and I remember that very distinctly. We always had a lot of musicians coming over to our house when I was a kid. My dad was really into jazz, especially, and he had a lot of friends. He hung out in the jazz clubs, I guess, 50s and early 60s before he got drafted, and we all moved to Germany. But so he knew a lot of these guys, and they came to Europe and toured and everything. They would stay with us. He was a doctor, so he went in the army as a captain, and we had this big giant apartment in Heidelberg. It was just like a party zone, and they had big parties. My dad, there was a guy, his name was Mushroom. Yeah, think about it. When I was a little kid, I just thought, wow, that's cool. His name is Mushroom. And then I went to college and I said, oh, his name is Mushroom. That's a little different. So I always had that, there's a lot of music in the house. And then even after, when we moved back here and my dad got out of the army, my parents got divorced, we used to spend a lot of time in the car looking for parking spaces in Manhattan, and we would listen to the jazz station, and my dad would say, who's that? There'd be a saxophone player, and he'd be like, who is that? He'd make me discern, at 9 years old or whatever, 10 years old, 11, 12, who was that saxophone player based on the tone. So he was giving me like little, so I had that already, and I just, when I started playing, I really liked it. I like writing songs, so I never stopped writing songs, and that's really what just keeps me, that's just what keeps me going in it. That's why I do, that's what really discovered that I really enjoyed it. So, and it's kind of selfish in a way, because, when you're a musician, a lot of people expect you to make a lot more money in your life. So you have to disappoint a few people.
Not everything is verses, so...
No, I taught songwriting at Purchase College, and I ended up getting a master's degree in music eventually. So I never stopped wanting to learn things. I love learning new songs. Even though I like to play blues, I still like learning new songs. And it's just, I'm always kind of amazed at how much there is to know and learn musically.
It's just infinite. It's like life. There's always something new every day, and there's always something to learn.
Yep.
Absolutely. Have you ever had any embarrassing moments while performing live or recording something? And so, what happened, and how did you handle the situation?
I must have. Probably I handled it by forgetting them. If you're trying to be, when you're younger, trying to be sexy thing, which is not the most. That's not my thing, but you think you want to be something, and your mom shows up at your gig, and she sits right in the front row, and you're singing your blues song, and it's about, hey, mama, you're just saying, if you can get through that, then you can get through anything. And that happened to me one time. One time she was whistling a song, and I was like, I had to glare at her. I was like, will you stop whistling? Like, seriously, whistling the melody to my song. Wrong. And so that kind of stuff. But that was embarrassing because only I noticed, probably. But, you forget the lyrics sometimes. One time I started the song and started with a vocal thing. I actually started singing in the wrong key, and then I started playing in the right key, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was really hard. Once everybody was going, it was really hard for me to get back to the right spot, and I didn't want to stop. And it was a trio, which is really the hardest. In a trio, you'll have a lot of embarrassing moments. At least you think you do. Because
well, either on just the three of you.
Well, yeah, I never had anything crazy, I mean, I've had embarrassing things happen to me non-musical. I don't really want to talk about too much, but, maybe that's for another conversation as well. We already have like 4 more conversations planned. I don't know if you noticed that.
I'll have to bring you to my other show, the Life Necessities and Luxuries podcast. You talk about it over there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Tell me, what do you do to market yourself these days?
What can you do? You do everything you can, but if you, like you said before, you're just one person, and you can't do that much without spending money. So I'm kind of going through right now, figuring out what to do. Really, actually, is what I'm doing, because I've been working on this project for a really long time, like way too long, and it's finally done. It's going to be done literally tomorrow. Like I told you, it's going to be in the box.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I can either go pick it up by car probably and have it tomorrow, or I can just be like patient for one more day, pay $90 and have them ship it. Now, if I go by car, it's going to cost me almost like probably $50 in gas and tolls, or $60. So it's almost better to have it.
You waited this long, you can wait one more day.
Some part of me says I've waited this long, I can't wait another day. You see what I'm saying? I mean, how do you reconcile those two both legitimate, concerns? You can't. So I'll probably, out of laziness, I'll probably just wait another day. But I am anxious to get it. But that's cool. So now I'm going to have it. So I have to sell it, and I know to sell it I have to market it, and I have my Facebook friends, but, I don't expect everybody to go buy it. And I know some people will, that'll be nice. They'll really appreciate it. But I really don't expect everybody to. And, a lot of my friends are musicians like me, and I would love to buy all my friends' records, but it's like, we can't afford it. So it'd be great if we could all buy each other's records. We could figure out a way to make it so it doesn't cost anybody anything. There must be a way to do that, where everybody gets together and says, okay, I'll buy this one, you buy that one, I buy that one. And it works in a circle till everybody paid $10 and everybody has a record and nobody spent anything, or only one person spent. I get one rich person in the circle. That's the thing.
I buy one for everybody.
All you need is one to buy one. If everybody buys each other's, then everybody makes $10 except the rich person buys the one. That's the thing. That's why it's a problem. The rich people need to be more generous. But don't get me in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble politically or anything. So I could hire somebody. Maybe I could hire somebody, but you have to pay for that. And I think I could probably get someone if I actively, have to be proactive. That's all I really know is that I have to be proactive. I can't just sit and do nothing. I can't just do Facebook, because that wears out really fast. And I know how Facebook works. It doesn't work, actually. You can't, if you're promoting something, nobody sees it, because you do stuff on Facebook. People don't see that stuff. They don't see what's on your page. Some people don't even like your page, and even if they do, they don't see what's on the page. You have to pay for stuff, and they don't even tell you what you're buying when you're paying. Giving your money, really. They tell you you'll have a reach. Well, you don't even know what they mean by half the things they say. So I hope I don't get in trouble if Facebook is listening, shut me down.
No. I mean, you can go to like SoundCloud and put stuff up there.
Yeah, I'm going to use Bandcamp.
Bandcamp?
Yeah, because I can sell it on Bandcamp, and they have a pretty good deal. They give you pretty reasonable. You can look at some stats and see if people listen through the whole song stuff. But I put stuff up on Bandcamp before, and people don't see it when you put it on Facebook. So you know what I have to do? It's really my original goal when I made this thing, and the goal got bigger. My project got bigger, not as I made it, but the idea of it got bigger really fast, pretty early. So once we decided to do something bigger than we did, than we had originally planned, everything kind of changed. But my original goal was I want to make a record that I can use to get gigs and get some gigs, and then if I can sell my record at the gigs, that'd be great. That's like my plan. That's hardly a plan, but that's what I want to do.
But nowadays, too, you can also get your own store going up on Amazon as well. And you
I don't really like Amazon. I mean, I'll tell you.
Great audience there, so, you may not want to,
Well, I'm going to put my thing on Amazon. I am. And I put some other stuff that I did in the past on Amazon, but they have funny stuff goes on Amazon with people selling your record for $80. It's like weird, and there's some guy who's selling it for 99 cents. No, and it happens on everything. Everybody I know who's got a record, it happens. I think people advertise stuff and they don't even have it, and thinking, oh, maybe some dopey person will actually pay $150 for this, and then I'll just buy it from the guy who has it for $11. So I don't know. I'm just guessing because I even bought some stuff that I knew was actually stolen from me, and I bought it from someone. I don't know how they got it. It was obviously had changed hands a bunch of times.
It was stolen from you?
It was stolen from a bookstore that I had some CDs in a long time ago, and they went out of business, and they called me up to come pick them up, and then I left, and I arrived at the bookstore like less than a half an hour later. When I got there, all the CDs were gone, and then after that was back a while ago, but after that, a whole bunch of them turned up on Amazon. They've all been bought. But there's nowhere else they could have come from because I'm the manufacturer, so they had to come from me. Nobody had that many, and so I knew they came from there. It was a Borders bookstore, actually.
Oh yeah, that was a great store. Too bad they closed.
I liked it. I did a record release party there. I don't think they stole it. Somebody stole it from them. So
the name of the CD is RSVP to Paradise. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. You definitely got to give me a link or something that we can...
You can go to dustmyblues.com, and after tomorrow, there'll be a link for where you can buy the record at Bandcamp. Right now, you can actually hear the songs. You can stream them only on my website, because I don't believe in Spotify and or any of that stuff. And I'm angry at the politicians who made it legal for them to steal money from musicians. So getting that out there.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No, it's terrible. I got a royalty statement, and I get 6/1000th of a cent for a stream. And I saw a cartoon where the guy Spotify was making a payment to the musician, and the guy he was asking the musician, "Do you have change? Can you break a penny?" like seriously.
Oh, that's bad.
It's very sad, right?
God.
So you can stream it from my website, but the idea is if you like them, then you buy them. You're going to get it. I'm doing a release party at a buddy guy's club on playing the dinner. I'll have the CD there, and I'm going to be offering them for $10 and $15 with a free T-shirt. So there you go. And a lot of great people on it. People from Chicago, Billy Branch is on it, and Gene Barge is on it, and great musicians, Tennyson Stevens and James Gadsden and Welton Geit. And Cash McCall co-produced it with me, and there's Ron Haynes, Game Changers, the horn section, who did all the horn arrangements. They have a tremendous horn section. I hope I'm not leaving anyone. A lot of great engineers. Ray Bardaney did the vocals, and Glenn Nishida did the basic tracks, and Ray was just particularly helpful. A lot of people helped me out, friends who helped me at critical moments when I was ready to say this was a big waste of time and I never should have done it, because, they picked me up when I was ready to quit, almost ready. And I'm really glad they did, and I had those people there. And they're all thanked on my record. So Christina Eleni Schneider did the design, and Mona Vilche Claps, who took the back photo. Christina took the front photo. Everybody helped out, and it came out great. And it looks great, too. It's a beautiful package. Well, I'm going to have to send you a copy of it, aren't I?
That sounds good.
So you'll send me your address and a message, and I'll send you.
I will.
To get it. All right.
So tell me something. Are you ready for the 11-stroke roll rapid fire interview?
I don't know. We'll find out when we're done. Is that the first question?
No.
Is that the first question? I only got 10 left?
That's good, actually. I can't remember that. Tell me, number one, what's your favorite guitar?
Well, to see that, when you told me that might be a question, or I thought that might be a question, it's probably my acoustic guitar, my Alvarez, but I can't say that for sure because I love my electric guitar, my Strat, which I built myself out of parts from different Fender parts, all Fender parts. It's got a neck from a big fat neck from a Jeff Beck Strat. Ever since I had the first guitar, I always liked big giant necks on my guitars. My friends can't play my guitars, which is just fine actually. And so Jeff Beck guitars in the mid-90s had these huge necks, and people pick it up and they're like, "Oh my God, how do you play this?"
That's really cool.
So I have two of those that I made, and they're both great. And they're Strats, but they're hardtail Strats because I break a lot of strings and then it stays in tune. And besides, I like that sound anyway. I know people argue with me about it doesn't sound like a Strat. And I'm like, well, I don't really care what you think. So,
what's your favorite city?
Oh, I don't really have a favorite city. Right now, Montevideo is my favorite city in Uruguay.
Cool. And what's your favorite pastime?
Well, I don't know if you call playing guitar a pastime. Is just what you try to do for a living. Notice, try. So that's the important part is that you try. So playing guitar is my favorite pastime. When I need a break from playing guitar, I'll probably play guitar. Cooking, I like cooking a lot too. I cook, make life nice.
Cooking is great. Yes.
Yeah, I love to cook actually, and I read a lot.
What's your favorite band? One of your favorite bands?
Well, I like I'm born in the '60s, so I was always a Beatle fan when I was a kid. But I always liked all the blues bands, and I liked especially the early rock bands. I like Chuck Berry is amazing, and Elvis is amazing. Recordings are incredible. And I liked when I was a kid. I really kind of liked Gene Vincent and the Blue Caps a lot. They were great, but the Beatles were always good. My daughter listens to a lot of music, and we listen to music together. We listen to all kinds of music. But if I had to, my favorite band, maybe my favorite band I ever saw, oh, wow, that's a hard one, too.
Let's ask you this. What's your favorite travel spot?
Well, see, I don't go traveling a lot, but, when I do, it usually is to go play music. But I went to, like I was saying, I went to Uruguay. I didn't say that, actually, but I maybe implied it. But that was really nice to say that. That was the most recent place I've been that's different. I like going to Clarksdale, Mississippi a lot. Cool.
And what's your favorite curse word?
My favorite curse words? I don't know. I curse when it's appropriate.
Right. And what do you use?
Well, it depends on what the situation is.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah.
If I stub my toe, I mean, I'd probably say shit,
Okay, cool. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Am I allowed to say that on this show? I thought it was appropriate, so I said it. Okay.
Biggest pet peeve?
When people ask me to like their band page on Facebook, and I like it, and then I see that I've invited them to like mine, and then they haven't liked it, and then I can't actually invite them again because I already invited them, so I send them a message saying, hey, I like your Facebook page. Would you like mine too? And then usually they do it because, people don't always see the invites, and I get that. Sometimes they refuse to like my page, and I'm like, well, I just like your page. And I had one guy who said, well, I don't really appreciate you sending me a message asking me, I never sent people messages asking me for my page. And I'm like, actually, I sent you an invite 2 years ago when you came and sat in with my band at my jam session that I was running in Brooklyn, and then he unfriended me and blocked me. And I was like, that's my pet peeve right there right now.
That's a good one. Who's your favorite? That is a good one. I agree with that. Who's your favorite person to hang out with?
My daughter is my favorite person to hang out with. There's no question.
How old's your daughter?
She's 14. She's going to be 15 shortly.
It's a tough age.
It is, but it's,
it's a fun age.
It's a tough age, but what? These kids at her age, the world is getting tougher for them than it ever has been for any of us, and so they're going to have tough times, these kids this age. I can see it coming. I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy, but
I feel bad. No, it's true.
No, sorry. There's some weird stuff going on in the world right now.
It is, and I don't even want to touch that one because that's. What is your favorite place or your favorite venue to play music?
I'm hoping that it's the place that I'm going to be playing in at Buddy Guy's Legends in Chicago doing a dinner sets. I played there once before in a jam session, and it was a nice place to play. But, I like to play wherever I'm playing. I like to be playing there. So I don't really have a favorite place to play. I've had rooms that I've thought to myself, wow, this place sounds great. The Mercury Lounge in New York, which I haven't played in, that was a room that I remember as just having a great sound. I played, playing on a couple of stages that were a little bigger, always nice, but sometimes the sound's not so great. So, it depends. If there's people in the audience really enjoying it, you don't really notice. You're so happy to be wherever you are playing that, it doesn't really matter where you play.
Car or motorcycle?
Car. I think motorcycles are cool and everything.
Your favorite food?
I'm kind of a foodie, so I can't really, I like Indian food. I like spicy food. I like barbecue.
I know, food is endless.
Asian food. Food is great. What else can I say? Food is fantastic. I love food.
And I love to cook it, and
it's like songwriting in a way. It's very much balancing act.
With each other and the flavors that are going to, really enhance one another. So tell me, Jim, it almost looks like we're just about out of time here. I want to thank you again for hanging with us tonight. And how can our listeners find you and stay in touch? You said your website, but you said you have a Facebook as well. How do they
can go to my Facebook page. Just go to look for Dust My Blues or Jim Koeppel, JimKoe. P is in pie, E-L, and my band is Dust My Blues. My website is dustmyblues.com. If you go to my website, you can click on the Facebook link, and it'll take you to my Facebook.
Wonderful.
I think it takes you to my band page. I got to check that. I have a Twitter account, but I can't tell you for the life of me what that's for. I have no idea. But you can go sign up for my Twitter and then wait for nothing to ever happen. And then
it's very worthwhile trying it. Because you may find just that one platform that works best for you. I always say, you could go live and love everywhere, but there's always, going to be that one main thing that really works for you. And so if Facebook is the place for you, that's great. But you may want to do
Facebook's easy, but it's also distracting. You go on Facebook and you forget what it was you went on to do, or sometimes you're doing something else not on Facebook and you see that little number pop up and you're like, ooh, somebody just liked something, and you check it out and you're like, oh, what's that? And then you were like, what was I doing here anyway? I forgot.
Jim, again, thank you for being here tonight. I want to wish you best of luck with the show and the CD.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear it. And so when you do get that, I will put those links in the show notes to make sure that if anybody wants to check it out, they can. But I want to thank those listening to this podcast out there tonight. Thank you again. I feel blessed that you're here. And if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and subscribe. And please remember, it's never too late to begin to live the life of your dreams and leave a trail blazing behind you. So rock on and rock out, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Namaste.